Hey everybody, this is Henry here with my co-host Roman's TWR Empire, and we're back with another episode of 2091 Empire News. We're just going to go ahead and get right into it. So I'm going to hand it off to Roman for her first story. Go ahead.
Hey guys, we're back again, as Henry already said, and once again this month, we have another meetup to talk about. All 3 episodes so far we've talked about meetups on. It just seems like meetups are like constant at this point in the community. But
Oh, dude, I didn't think about that.
at this time, we're talking about this one isn't as big as the others, but recently MPS, Percy number 6, and WoodenRailwayOnly all met up and filmed a couple videos together. And yeah, it was pretty cool. One of the things they recorded was an episode of the Blue Midwest Mystery podcast on this channel. They also recorded part of Percy number 6's 11-year anniversary video, and I believe there's another video on Rose's channel that they filmed together, and they all met up. They all met up, I think, near MPS's college or something, because they all go to school near each other. And yeah, that's pretty cool how convenient that is for them, because actually, and this is kind of a behind-the-scenes thing, but they've at least MPS and Percy number 6, they've met up a ton already, like this college semester,
Man,
and same with MPS and Roe. They've met up quite a bit already this semester, and I'm pretty sure, I think that the 3 of them were again together last weekend, maybe, or something. But sorry if that's a little too personal. I'm not gonna go any more personal on that, but I'm just saying it's pretty cool because they live pretty close to each other, so they can do this like all the time now.
That would be like a dream for I mean the closest person that I know that lives near me is Ronnie, but like if me and Roman live near each other like they do, like we'd be like we might end up in jail. That'd be cool. Like that's how crazy we would be. But
Yeah.
yeah, and it's fun to it's cool to see these guys meet up because like they're cool guys, and I met up with one of them, which was Percy number 6, back in April, and that was a lot of fun. So
And coincidentally, I met up with the other 2.
yeah, dude, I think that's where I was going with that. I couldn't sometimes I don't think, so I can't say stuff like the way I want to, but yeah, that's kind of what I was gonna get to. Yeah, man, that's crazy. But anyway, we're gonna get into some videos. So the first thing we're gonna talk about is some more parts of the Magic Railroad by Mr. Conductor Fan 1406 have come out, and now they're starting to. The first few parts were only 7 or so minutes long, but now from here on out, I believe that the parts are going to be about a half hour each at least, so that'll be nice. And I think they're trying to get the whole all the parts out by, I think, the end of the year. I think Vinny said that on Twitter. I could be completely wrong though.
I think he
But
said that.
do what?
I think he said
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So yeah, that's really all there is to say on that. The movie's still looking interesting, still looking good. Here's a pretty big story. Is Enterprising Engine 93? He recently hit 100K subscribers.
Yeah, that's pretty big for Thomas community members. Only people I can think of that in the past have had that many. So
Diesel
yeah,
D199, Unlucky Tug,
yeah, like that's about it. I
Vicente
can't think of it.
22. Those are the only ones I can
Oh
think of.
yeah. Sorry, Vincent. Yeah, you too.
Oh wait, no,
Uh,
don't say swear words. That's inappropriate. We'll let that one slide. But anyway, yeah. So he made a video, a celebration video for it. It was a take a walk celebration video, and it was a music video through with all, and it had a bunch of his friends in it, and had clips from projects he's made in the past as well as projects like that may have yet to come out. That and I think there were some shining time shots in it. I thought were you might have been in them, Roman, but I could be wrong on that.
really,
But
I don't remember that. I'll have to
yeah, no,
rewatch
I'm
that.
probably being stupid right now, but anyway, but no, but the point, but the big thing about it is enterprising engine. He's finally reached 100K subscribers. I know, like even back in Shining Time, they're trying to get him there, and now he finally did. And I just want to say, from everyone here at 2091 Empire News, congratulations, Enterprising Engine 93 on 100,000 subscribers. It's a really big milestone, and you deserve it. You're a great guy. You make great videos, and that's awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And I guess this compliments him hitting 100K subscribers, but he actually also recently uploaded a new episode of his series, which is called Coffee Break, and it's a story about Glenn the coffee pot engine, but it's not set in modern day. It's like from before Thomas arrived on the island, and it's really cool. I'm not going to spoil it, of course, but it was a really neat story, and the cinematography obviously was really good. His sets are always great, so it was a fun thing to watch, and I'm sure if you take a minute or take like 10 minutes to watch it, you'll enjoy it too.
All right, so here's the next episode or video we're going to be talking about. It's an episode of a series. Satirical Tales of the NWR by Biscuit Cat Productions. He recently uploaded the 4th episode of the series, The Tale of a Red Engine, and I really like this series. I mentioned it last episode because Biscuit Cat, he was at the Greenberg train show. I mentioned it a little bit, but I really like it because it kind of retells the original stories, like of Thomas getting his branch line and all that, kind of like early on Thomas stories. But he adds his own twist to it. Certain things are done differently, and it's satirical, to say the least. And it's and the filmings, and his sets are great. The filming and cinematics are good too. And some stuff I wouldn't even think to do. His tracking, like how he does his tracking shots, and he has his own like kind of way of telling the stories. Anyway, this episode it basically goes over like the James the Red Engine stories, like James and the Coaches, and Troublesome Trucks, and James Gets the Express for the most part, except like he has his own take on it. Like some things are done differently. I don't want to go in completely in depth, and then he also has his own story plots put into it that weren't like he has his own original story plots implemented into the story, like some things were like during the Troublesome Trucks like segment of it, the trucks break away like they usually do, but instead of just going back and coupling it up, like James ends up becoming a runaway, and then the trucks, go off, and the trucks that break away actually go off and cause, wreak havoc, somewhere else. But like I said, I don't want to get too much into it, but it's a really good series. Like not in my opinion, it's one of my favorite series in the community right now in terms of originality and cinematics and stuff. And it has some of its own comedic has some of its own comedic elements to it too. So it's a really good series, and if you haven't checked it out already, I recommend you do. It's really not it's really well put together, and it tells a good story too, and it does a good job of taking the already written Thomas stories from the Railway series or TV series, but have its own twist on it. Woodenfan 1 is the user who made the next video that we'll be talking about, and the video it's another story called Henry the Hero. My name is also Henry, but anyway, it's the second part of a 4-parter that he's doing, kind of like a Railway series book. And the first part it's a follow up to the story of breakdowns and boasting. And this story also has to do a lot with breakdowns. And it's a story time. It's a story that it's a story through Edward's perspective. And it's a story that goes back to the beginnings of the railway, back when like Gordon was new and all that. And he's giving Henry grief for breaking down constantly, because this is back when he was in his old shape. And then he breaks down, and then he's in trouble, and then Henry comes and rescues him. It's a nice simple story that's put together by Andrew, which is Woodenfan 1. He's good at making those kinds of stories, kind of like how I like to tell simple stories. So I always like to see people make stories like that, and it's a good simple little story, and and like I said, it's only the second part of a 4-parter, so keep on the lookout for the next 2 parts. And also, if you haven't seen the first part, Breakdowns and Boasting, I recommend you check that out too. It's a good put together episode, and I recommend you check it out. This next video is another story, Gaining Traction by the Stoic 9F. And the title of this story makes sense because it involves both Trevor and Fergus, which, as you may already know or may not know, they're both traction engines, and it's basically Trevor, he working in the orchard, and then he meets Fergus, and they start working together, and they have their ups and downs. It's a real nice story. I've never thought of that character combination before between Trevor and Fergus, but it's pretty cool. I mean, they're both traction engines. They can both relate to each other, and both have their conversations and working together and all that. And it's actually really convenient that like he just released this recently. It just after we found out that the Fergus prop model is still around, and it got revealed.
That was really good timing.
Yeah, I know. I don't know like if that was planned or if if it was just a big coincidence, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about this story. It's a good story between Trevor and Fergus, and then you also have Edward there too, as a little middle character in that, and it like everyone seems like every character in the story was implemented well into it, and it reminds me of a good season 4 or 6 or 7 episode where you have those two character combinations. I've never thought of it to do that. I'm not sure if anyone else did. Maybe they did, but the Stoic 9F did a good job with this one, and I recommend you check it out. He's also a really good He's one of my favorite users that film outside. He makes great outdoor sets, and yeah, I'd recommend you check that one out.
The next video we're going to be talking about is not an episode this time, but a review. If you haven't seen, another user set a big milestone recently. Percy number 6. He hit 11 years on YouTube, and to commemorate that, he did a crossover review with, this was pretty cool, LNERFlyingScotsman, or as some people know him, Roberto, who is a former member of the community, but Percy number 6 decided to get him on to do that video, and it was pretty funny. It was really enjoyable. Ted also appears in it, and I believe Green Thunder as well. And like I said before, part of this was filmed during Percy number 6 MPS and Rose meetup, so that's pretty cool.
Something really quick to add to that. He does a somewhat face reveal. Like you can for the most part see his face, and I met up with him a while back, and now that like he's revealed half his face.
Can you confirm that is what half of his face looks like, Henry?
No. What I was gonna get to it, I can finally say this publicly, but like his face, like he looks like a mix of Roe and Enterprising Engine 93. Like that's a good way to describe what he looks like, and I think that's pretty cool.
That's awesome. And then also, Percy number 6, also he premiered a new season of the series. He's now on season 8, and he released the first episode of season 8 recently, and it's called Tram Engine Toby Again, which is a play on Tank Engine Thomas Again from the Railway series. So yeah, those are 2 videos you can check out from Percy number 6. And now, we're going to talk about a trailer. Trainking James, he uploaded a trailer for a project called Henry and the Express, which is an adaptation of the book Henry and the Express from the Railway series into the Adventure Begin style format, CGI based and such, with a lot of those elements. And he's planning on releasing it this year to commemorate Henry's centenary, or if you don't know what that means 100 years since Henry was built. So that's really cool. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. That's really cool, and I think that's awesome that James is doing that. I star in it as a workman, so make sure you check that out and see my my inclusion in the project. It's going to be really cool. He premiered part of it actually at Shining Time, with just one of the stories in the book he only had done, but I'm sure he's coming close to finishing that now. I think he's planning on releasing it in like November maybe. I could be wrong in saying that, but I believe I heard him say that. But yeah, that's coming soon. And the next one that we're going to talk about is not a trailer or an episode or review or a remake, but a return video. If you haven't seen, but I'm sure you guys have seen it.
I've seen it, don't worry.
It's a big deal. MasterOfTheLemons, he has uploaded a legitimate video, like not an announcement video, for the first time in
a lot of years. Two years.
like 2 years. And it's called No More Secrets, and basically, you'll see for yourself, but in the video, basically, he shows off a bunch of stuff he's been working on for the last 2 years and kind of explains his absence and the reasons behind it. And he also continues to go on by saying that he will start continuing to make content, which he has. He's uploaded a custom showcase video of Zoran, which is he made a replica, or not a replica, but like a, it's not in the scale of Tugs, but it's a smaller scale version of Zoran, and it looks really good. you should check that out. But I would recommend checking out the No More Secrets video first. You'll be really intrigued. You have anything to add about that, Henry?
It's just I was not expecting like all that stuff that he had in that video. I mean I knew a little bit because I talked to Lemmy a little bit about some of the Roblox stuff that he made and all that, but I had no idea about the tugs models he made, the scale, all the scale models, and and some of the stuff he made for like Wooden Railway wise and stuff like that. All I have to say is I'm glad he was doing stuff while he was gone, because he's a really talented user when it comes to model making, like digitally and physically. Like his Roblox models are phenomenal, as well as his physical like scale models as well. And I'm really glad that he's coming back and he's showing it to the community, because I think it's something that everyone would appreciate seeing.
Yeah, it was a really good watch, and also just I figure I should mention this too. I'm sure he'd want me to.
He wears glasses.
Yes, he wears glasses, but also Lemmy's being more active on his Twitter now. So I'm sure if you wanted to ask him a question or something about it, you can try and DM him on Twitter if you feel you want to do that, and I'm sure he'll respond. So yeah, the next thing we're going to talk about is a review, or multiple reviews actually. Kikray, Chase, ThomasWoodenRailway, with whatever you want to refer to him as, he uploaded a series of reviews recently on his channel with the set. They were all set discussions, not character discussions. The ones he's done are the Down by the Dock set, the Deluxe Mountaintop Supply Run set, which is a Mattel-made set, if that name doesn't sound familiar, the Sodor Airfield set, and the Percy Takes the Plunge set. I watched two of them, and they're pretty cool. And I like how he does them on the play table and stuff. That's really neat, and it's a nice traditional little relaxing review. So if you feel you want to go watch those, go check them out. I'm sure he'd appreciate the views.
Already checked them out.
That's great.
The next topic that we're going to be talking about it's actually a new channel made by a few pretty new users, I think. I discovered pretty much all of them just recently. But they come together and made a channel. The users involved are Peter Sam Studios, Thomas54 Productions, Turbo711, Gordonfan04, and Crazy Caboose Creations. And the channel is called TWRC Remakes, and it's a lot in the style. I don't know if you guys remember our TWR. No, that's not it. The DTTE community. I think that's what it was called. But basically, yeah. It's a channel that makes remakes, but all the users mentioned before, they come together and make a scene of it, and it all comes together a lot like how the TTTE community used to do, and it's real cool, something that hasn't been done in a while, and a lot of people do VHS collabs and stuff like that, but like this is a cool way to do remakes, like. And a lot of them are pretty like consistently like blended in together with each scene. Like you can see the users different takes on the sets and the way they film, but at the same time it's still like there's still like a sense of consistency throughout the remakes too. So far they've uploaded two. two remakes, which are Thomas and the Trucks and Thomas and Burry's Great Race. They're both pretty good. They're both real good remakes, and I recommend you check out this channel. It's a real fun. It's a real cool concept, and I'm not sure if like they plan on having more users in the channel, or if like they're just sticking to like them themselves making the remakes. But either way, it's a cool, unique thing, like channel to look at, and I recommend checking that out.
Yeah, go show those guys some love, because they all seem to be pretty fairly new users, and of course it's always good to welcome people into this community. Yeah, so speaking of remakes, we have I think five new remakes to promote. We've got a Henry and the Elephant remake by Heisel Productions, a Super Rescue adaptation by Sodor Railway 3D Films, James's Rescue, an adaptation by Colbyfell 1, a Cow on the Line remake by Trainking James, and finally a Rusty to the Rescue remake by Crazy Caboose Creation.
These are all really, really good remakes that have come out, especially like Heisel. It's always good to see a remake come out from him. He's he always knows how to make remakes pretty well, as well as Sodor Railway 3D Films. I haven't seen.
Heisel is a remake channel if I ever saw one.
Oh yeah, that is true. Like I asked him one time if he was, and he said yes. So that's actually a true statement. As well as like Sodor Railway 3D Films, like I don't think he's made a video in a while. I could be wrong, but I remember I saw it in my sub feed, and I was like, oh wow, I haven't seen a video from him in a while, and he did, and it was a really well put together adaptation. I think he's made another remake or two since then, and I think so. I'd say go check out his channel for the next videos to come. And then Colbyfell 1 with the James's Rescue remake. That was good too. And then Cow on the Line by Trainking James. Trainking James. He's Trainking James. He wears glasses too. And then Rusty the Rescue by Crazy Caboose Creations. He's who's also, like I said before, part of that TWRC Remakes channel that's going on. He also makes, really good standalone remakes too, as well as a few crossovers here and there as well. And that covers most of the remakes here. And then when you wanna.
So finally, the last video we're going to be talking about today is another review, and it's not just an ordinary review; it's a home media review. Lego Lover or Garrett, whatever you want me to call you, you better be watching right now, because he wanted this and he's getting it. Home Media Reviews has returned for another episode. I'm not sure if that will continue, considering we haven't seen any other new DVD releases recently, but he did a Home Media review on Big World, Big Adventures, the movie, as that came out on DVD within the last month. So yeah, it's a pretty long video, I gotta say. He did a pretty in-depth review of it, so if you want to watch that, I say to go and check it out, because I think it's a pretty fair review of the DVD itself and the movie as well. So yeah, it was pretty enjoyable to watch.
A little thing to add to that, being Garrett, we're on a Union Pacific Big Boy together one time. It was cool.
Yeah, they met up. So finally, the last section we're gonna have for today's news are some brand new customs that people have made. Henry, do you want to talk about those?
Sure, why not? So a couple ones, Percy and Gordon by Eric Pierre 53. Now he's actually made quite a few more since then. Like, I think he made a Tornado. I could be completely wrong on that.
I think
I
he
need to
did.
start doing research more before I record, but there's always next time for that. So
Basically, Eric's made a bunch of customs recently. And they all look great.
he has, and he's revealing them like he's revealing a bunch of them at once. It's crazy, but I really like. I gotta say, I really like his Percy and Gordon. Like he used for Percy, he used like they're railway series based. I think it's safe to say, especially the Percy. He made it short to like the size of a lady. He used I think it was a Peter Sam's boiler, so it's that half. It's like an actual saddle tank boiler, like Percy has in later railway series, stories, and like I said, it's to the size scale of like what he would be, in the railway series, and it's really nice, as well as Gordon. He made. I think they're called the not splashers, the wheel arches, like that, like he made those actually stand out on Gordon. He gave him like a new like coat of paint, like what it's really season 1-esque in that way, like the shade of blue he used, as well as make the smoke box like how it's actually supposed to be. And it's really nice. I got like the links to those two will be in the, like he posted pictures of them on Twitter. The links to those tweets will be in the description below. And if you go onto his actual Twitter, you'll be able to find the other customs he's made too that are really worth checking out. And I'm sure like when he gets back to like when a new Railway Tales come out, I think it's safe to say like maybe he doesn't plan on it, but it'd be cool to like see these customs of Percy and Gordon, and then maybe eventually if he gets to it, the other customs, like see those in his series Railway Tales. Another cool custom is a mid-Sodor mine engine by the TheSudricLegend, and it's a lot like Neil, except it's brown, and it has a bit more detail than what a Neil Wooden Railway model would be, and it's got a seat where you can put Lego minifigures in it, and a lot of people I know in the fandom, or at least in the Wooden Railway part of it, use Lego minifigures for people like myself, and like Roman does too.
I sure do. And the last custom that we're going to talk about is by ThomasWoodenRailway, and he made, this was kind of surprising to me, and I know Henry was a little surprised when he saw it himself, a custom of Ace, the race car from Big World Big Adventures. And it's not a traditional custom where there's like wood whittling and shaping to make the character. What Kikre did is he took a Sir Topham Hatt's car and he put a face on it, and he put some decals on it and stuff to make it look like Ace. But the cool thing about it is he didn't ruin the Sir Topham Hatt's car at all, because everything he put on it is removable. So it's pretty neat how he did that. The shape isn't exact, obviously, and I'm pretty sure he knows that. I haven't watched the video myself of him showing it off, but I've seen it on Twitter. It's not shaped exactly like Ace, but I'm sure he knows that. It's just I think it's cool what he did. It's pretty neat how it all comes off. So yeah, check that out.
I was about to say, like Ace's, like the ThomasWoodenRailway's Ace, like one of the cool things about it is that if you do want to just use it as Sir Topham Hatt's car, like it's easily, most of the, I think pretty much all the stuff he added to it, like you can easily just take off, and then there you go, you got a Sir Topham Hatt's car, as well as just put it back on too. And I tell you what, interesting.
I tell you what, it's a lot better than the Thomas Wood Ace. That thing looks like crap.
Yeah. That's the case for most wood stuff, but we all live and learn.
Yep. But that wraps up today's news. There's nothing else right now, but rest. It's safe to say that next episode there will be tons more news to talk about, and I'm hoping it'll be that way. We will see you guys in the next episode, which will probably be November. I'm almost certain it'll be November. And it's October right now, so yeah, we do one every month. And this has been 2091 Empire News with me, Roman, and Henry, my co-host. And thanks for watching.